Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganashadasham Tattvamasya Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Dham Namami. Nithyanandam. Hi, this is my Nithya Ovinanda. Today I'm going to go over another chapter, a beautiful chapter in the Living Enlightenment book. It is Living Enlightenment month. It is the month of March, and in 2009, Swamiji released this amazing book, this powerful book. So every year we celebrate the Jayanti, the celebration of the birth of this book, as it came out March 3rd in 2009. So an interesting topic, an interesting chapter, global peace, right? Everybody wants to know about peace. We all want peace in our life. Many people do anyway. I know a lot of people, they're interested in peace. And this chapter, global peace, begins from you. Living enlightenment is being a peaceful blessing to planet Earth. So I'm sure this is a beautiful chapter that you will enjoy very much. With all of the things happening nowadays and in the world, there seems to be a lot of conflict and things. But we can actually have an understanding of what it means, the collective consciousness, what is global peace, what are the thoughts, and how our thoughts can shape our world and our life around us. So there's many different aspects to global peace. It's not just stopping war or stopping people from being violent. Global peace starts from within ourselves. So this chapter, Swamiji beautifully addresses it. So I'll go ahead and I'll just start. We can maybe do a couple days of it. We'll see. So the first, he says, when we realize our role in the existential theme, let me start over. When we realize our role in the existential scheme of things, we can no longer feel separate from all those around us. We can only feel separated when we feel unconscious of our role, when we are unaware. The time has come to create a critical mass of enlightened people on planet Earth. Only by creating more and more people who are awakened, who are enlightened, can the collective influence of individual negativity be destroyed. All calamities around the world are created only by unconscious human beings. Global warming, HIV, religious terrorism, fanaticism, the piles of atomic weapons are all because of this negativity. Today we are facing so many dangers that unless we create a peaceful, blissful, joyful, and enlightened society, we will not be able to preserve this beautiful planet Earth. So Swamiji says, my mission is to create a peaceful, joyful, blissful, conscious, enlightened society. And he's doing that today. He started so many years ago, 2003, with at Bengaluru Aadheenam, Erode was the first place, Erode, India. And then the Deity Aadheenam, Bengaluru Aadheenam. So that place, he is making that enlightened civilization there. And basically any temple or center that is inaugurated by Swamiji also is, I don't want to say a pod, it's a funny word for a spiritual community, but it is starting that seed of consciousness in that area, that enlightened living. Because everything we do that Swamiji teaches us, it revolves around living enlightenment. Or now, what he's introduced to us by Sadashiva from the Agamas is manifesting and radiating the state of Sadashiva. See, recently I just spoke about leadership consciousness. Leadership, what is it to be a leader? And I talked about space being the important component versus just that state, that status. So in the same way, Swamiji is introducing, or he has already introduced, and we are living by it, Sadashiva's example. Sadashiva says that we should radiate the space, his space. We should get into that oneness space with Sadashiva and manifest his powers. Because when we're manifesting his powers, so that would be the powers of the third eye awakening that Swamiji has initiated us into. When we're manifesting those powers daily, we start to understand more and more about the capabilities of a human body, of a human being. We start to understand the oneness space, because these powers that Swamiji is initiating us into can only be born from that oneness, that connection with him and with the divine, with Sadashiva. Otherwise, they won't work. So anybody with some funky intention, any of these negative people we're speaking about here, these powers won't work for them. So there's no need to worry about that. Only in the hands of the people who are in that enlightenment community that Swamiji is creating, that oneness space can manifest the powers. So he's creating that from everything Swamiji is tailoring based on the agamas written tens of thousands of years ago, noted down, I should say, delivered directly by Sadashiva himself and noted down for us so that we can live by them so many millenniums later. Everything from the food we eat. The food we eat is from the Bhaga Shastra. So the ancient scripture of eating the right food that's conducive to enlightenment, conducive to holding that energy. And the yoga and all the practices we do revolve around that enlightenment community. So the morning routine, which starts with cleansing the body and the panchakriyas, which is an enema, eye wash, and neti pot. Then moving from there and bathing, going to yoga class. So the yoga, 108 asanas we're doing now. Each asana with the source, the scriptural reference from the agama itself. So chanting that Sanskrit sloka that is the actual meaning of the pose itself, the asana. Then from there, moving into puja, that devotional state, that bhakti space, when you're getting into bhava samadhi and you're connecting into the oneness and offering the gratitude to the cosmos, to the divine, to Sadashiva, to the guru, all of those things. You're just pouring your gratitude for life and connecting with that energy. Then after that, we have the satsang, which is listening to the enlightened words from the avatar, from Swamiji himself, the words that are coming directly from the cosmos, that he's revealing to us the sacred truths that are getting into our system after we're doing all that morning process that is to open us up and to start moving the energy within us. And then he can just drop in those sacred truths into our system and let them flower in our inner space. So all of this morning thing has been designed specifically to be part of our day, part of the enlightenment community. Then how do we do our work throughout the day, our projects, our seva? How are we coming from the space of what? What is the context from which we're coming from? So all of that, now it's not only the context, but also the powers. So now starting to implement, manifesting the powers, the Shaktis of Sadashiva in our daily life. So for example, if you lose something and you can't find it, ask the third eye. Where is it? And typically, intuitively now, it's starting to come where that thing is showing. Some people can see exactly where it is. Some people intuitively, the answer is coming up. Or they're just going directly to that place and finding it. So using the powers not just for some woo-woo thing, but actually in daily life to help us. So many times I've seen, especially the Gurukul Balasants, which are the kids basically that are going to the Nithyananda Gurukul. Many of them are able to speak to somebody on the phone thousands of miles away in a different country and find lost objects for them. So somebody will call and be like, I lost my diamond ring, where is it? And that Balasant, that child, will be able to tell them exactly where it is in the house. Or if somebody took it or what, So it's pretty amazing. I mean, imagine all the different things that we can do. I have a list of them, all the different things we can do with these powers to help humanity and to help people. And because we're talking about global peace, so I'm actually going to run out of time because I'm trying to keep the videos smaller so that you're not, sleeping. Basically, I want to keep everything interesting for you, to just give you the insights from Swamiji that I'm learning. To help you in your life and just give you something to think about. So with that being said, this global peace and the third eye awakening, they're very much interconnected. For instance, There's manifesting powers and also doing Vedic rituals. So what I wanted to talk about was Homa, the Homa. It's a sacred ritual done with fire, basically, and doing chants and offering various things into the fire. There's different types of homas depending, but oftentimes the homa produces rain, okay? So because the earth is actually, Mother Earth is connecting and accepting sort of that ritual. A lot of the kids, especially when they do it, it almost always rains after. So it's an auspicious thing for that to happen. But imagine that vibration of the Homa with the Sanskrit mantras being uttered, and then the whole process of calling the divine into the fire, making the offerings, that whole process, and even the smoke that you breathe in the close vicinity, is very powerful and potent, and a healing aspect and quality, and then the vibration further extending out around the area. So if homas are offered in your neighborhood, say, imagine the vibration will raise. So if each area starts to do the homas, has a Hindu temple, which is radiating the divine energy from the deities themselves, and all of that starts to create a peaceful, positive vibration in that area. So this is how I envision it, if you keep putting these in certain areas, spread in a sort of certain way, that starts to circle out, and then eventually they'll meet and create more and more huge expanses of this positive energy vibration on planet Earth. So if we continue to do that and create that based on what Swamiji is giving us, from an individual person giving an Atmalinga, a small Spatika Linga that they can carry around with them, that radiates around that person, to larger things like giant deities to go inside temples. All of that he's creating to increase the vibration of planet Earth, that positive consciousness that's vibrating. And then we as people, we carry that, and it causes just a vibration even to be nice to somebody. And having that composure, that unclutching, because you're confident, you're powerful. You're not powerless anymore if somebody maybe does something on your way to work in the train, if they bump into you. Instead of growling at them and in completion, you'll be happy. Like, okay, it won't faze you, because everything has a ripple effect. So the more people that come to Swamiji's programs and meet him and get that initiation, understand and start to live the context of their life and the cognition they have about themselves in a different way, that positive vibration will go out into planet Earth more and more, and with more people and more places of this energy field that Swamiji is creating around the world. So it's very fascinating. And I completely didn't even look at anything else in this book except the beginning, but I got so excited to share all that with you because it just clicked in me to say it. So anyway, I hope you got an insight. This is definitely something you can do. You can just today do it. You just need to come to Inner Awakening or to Sadashiva program with Swamiji. And you just need to meet him, get the initiation, get the products, go home with it, share it with your family and friends, and just be that positive vibe. Not only positive, it's too small of a word because this isn't some self-help technique place. What I should say is the vibration and radiating the energy of the divine, the cosmos, Sadashiva. So when you're doing that, that is what is amazing. And that is the difference between riding a bicycle, let's say, and, having a sports car. I don't know. It's a terrible example, but you understand what I'm trying to say. So consider you can make a difference immediately in helping the peace and the consciousness of the planet by uplifting yourself, starting with you, who you are. And then from there, you can start to help the people that you love around you and teach with them what you have learned. And it'll have that ripple effect as I was explaining. So anyway, thanks again for watching today. I hope you got something out of it. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear some of your experiences. Please include them in the comments. Nithyananda.